Happy hump day, y'all.
Welcome back to the That's So Lane podcast. We're so excited to have you here.
So excited. I'm having such a grand time recording this podcast. And I just haven't really been looking at the numbers because I really don't care like how many people listen. I'm listening to myself. I'm just having fun. This is grand.
I know, it's so fun. It's like a great way because sometimes we'll talk on the phone, once a week, but other times we won't talk on the phone for 3 weeks, just
Right.
depending on what is going on in our lives. So it's a awesome way just to have a phone conversation that's being recorded.
That is right. I have eye patches on right now. I have freshly dyed hair and I'm on my second cup of coffee. So I just feel like great vibes right now. Great vibes.
Oh my goodness. Second cup of coffee. I cut out caffeine back in May.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now I am just a very boring person in the morning. I drink decaf coffee now, but yeah, I just need to be able to sleep at night. I'm not sure it's working, but we're going to give it a year.
Well, I think I don't know that it's the caffeine as much as the feeling. I love, especially like this is our last warm-ish day at all in Michigan. It's going to be in the 30s at night next week.
Yes.
But I need this warm comfort to wake up. And I have been drinking some, those liquid IVs,
Yeah.
like powder. I've been drinking that mixed with hot water some in the morning. I'm like hydrating and it still gives me this warm comfort. But I don't know. Nothing hits quite like the Chobani creamer that I am addicted to.
Yeah, and just in general, the smell. Like it's almost like my body will not respond to waking up until I smell coffee brewing.
It's the best part of waking up.
Yeah, the best part.
Boulders in your cup.
So yeah, that's my coffee journey. I'm glad you're hopped up on caffeine.
I am hopped up. I think I have a lot on my to-do list today. And some mornings I wake up and I'm like, I am about to crush this to-do list. Everything's going to get done. And that some days it overwhelms me. But if I just get my vibes going, I don't know. I'm here for it today. The eye patches are probably helping too. They are ice cold.
That is hilarious. You definitely need to post a picture of that on our Instagram account.
Oh, yes, it is ultimate glam right here. I'm shooting a campaign later for Botox, so I have to make sure I look decent.
Oh my God.
Listen, it's probably my favorite collab to date. What could be better?
I'm sure.
What has happened in the last week in your world?
Oh my goodness. Just the most random week. I started out, since we talked last time, I went to the gynecologist for the first time in 7 years.
Oh my gosh, that alert went off on my phone this morning, and because of you, I put an alert in my phone to make an appointment, and I haven't. Proceed. I ignored it, and then I came in here and got on this podcast.
Well, if it makes you feel better, the gynecologist told me that now they only do pap smears every 5 years, which who knew? I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she was so sweet. This is a new gynecologist. I really loved her. And yeah, she was just made me feel not so bad about it being 7 years since I had been in there. And she was like, "You're not that far behind."
Well, that's good. It is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October. So I guess it is a pop-in time to go get your girly checkups, your mammograms, all that business.
Yeah.
Because we are old enough to be talking about this content. Mercy.
Well, I have already had my first mammogram. I am due for a second one. That is also on my list of things to do. I just get so tired of making doctor's appointments. I mean, 4 kids, between the doctors and the dentist, it's like, I don't even know how mamas get anything done.
There are a lot of appointments. I took Callan to the orthodontist yesterday, and he stayed home from school because it was like an hour after school started. Then I took him. Then I wanted to give him a treat because I used to always take Cooper for a treat, and it was just like a special thing. And then I take him to school, and I'm so grateful to be able to do that. But like, okay, that was a good 3 hours of my morning that was taken over by the orthodontist. And on my way home, our family doctor called and was like, "I'm trying to make an appointment for your husband." And I was like, "Here is his number. I am not making his appointment." Why am I the number here? Not me. I'm out.
And yeah, no way. And honestly, even with my older boys now, I mean, you get that little email on their very morning of their 18th birthday, like, you no longer have access to this child's records, which
Oh,
really just makes you want to ball up and cry. But at the same time, it's just
wow.
kind of freeing because it's like, you know what? If you need a doctor, you can make your appointment and take yourself.
I guess that is good. I do have sports physicals for all the boys next week. I made everyone the appointment at the same time. Everyone's doing it together.
That is actually the best way to go, I think, because it's not like they really do anything in those appointments.
Right.
So yeah, you might as well knock them all out with one trip.
Yes. I did just get the email from school like, excuse me, miss. But basketball tryouts are coming up and there's no physical on file for your son. I'm like, please hold. It's next week. I'm coming. But I couldn't do it because I was in October last year. And so the doctor said we got to wait until October this year for the insurance, whatever. That's a whole nother. I could probably do a whole podcast on how annoying insurance is because I feel like I'm always like, this isn't right. Resubmit it.
Right.
What is wrong with this? Ugh.
I know,
Nonsense.
it's terrible.
Yeah. But I was surprised. I just got done paying all the bills for my gallbladder surgery. And it was surprisingly not anywhere near as much as I thought it was going to be. So at least my insurance is pretty good.
Well,
Covered.
yeah, that's a plus.
It is. Big plus. Um, you were telling me this morning when I called you to say, can we postpone for a little while so I can color my hair? You were telling me that you were loading vending machines.
Oh, yes. So we bought an existing vending machine company off of a friend of mine.
Because you were crazy.
I am crazy. I don't have enough on my plate. So I try and keep myself as busy as humanly possible. So,
I said this last week. You're just a hustler. You're just willing to give something a go.
well, my oldest son has been working with this friend for about 6 months now. So he's learned the ins and outs of it. And then my second son had shown some interest in possibly doing that as well. And I thought, well, why are we doing that? Why don't we just buy a portion off of him? He was looking to get rid of some sites. So we bought 5 locations and 13 machines. And so, yeah, my week has been very full of, opening bank accounts. And I think I've been to Sam's more times in the last 3 days than I've been in my entire life.
That is really exciting, though. And it's also awesome when you do have teenage kids to be able to give them a job, basically.
Right. And, I'd love to be able to expand it. And then if they need additional income in the future, they can buy portions off of me. I mean, that's like a dream of mine. So, yeah.
That's amazing. I don't know if this is podcast friendly, but we were at our friend's house over the weekend and just talking about like whatever life in general, and something about you came up. Maybe we're talking about this podcast, and I still am like, when people talk about it in real life, I'm like, oh no, shh, don't talk about it. This is like my online little secret. But then we put it out there to everyone. Anywho, talking about this, talking about you. And I said, I think she's going to buy this vending machine company. And they were like, what? That's insane. That's so wild that she would just go out and do that. And then my one friend, she was like, oh my gosh, when we were in Europe, they have vending machines with 21 plus rated ingredients.
Oh,
Yeah, like it's like Toys R Us for the grown-ups
okay.
on the street. She
Oh
said
my
that like
gosh.
they bought stuff from there just because how cool, how fun. This is crazy.
Oh my gosh. That's
So she said you
hilarious.
can go to Europe and open those kind of vending machines if you really want to cash in on some income.
I mean, sure. I'm sure that both of my teenage boys would really appreciate the opportunity to fill those.
What a thing for your teenage boys to do for a job. How embarrassing. But that was really funny. I had totally forgot about that until just now. So there you have
Hilarious. Oh my goodness.
it. It's very exciting that you're doing that. I can't wait to see. I'll come by a snack.
There you
Next time
go.
you're in Ohio.
So what about you? How was your week last week?
It was good. We were busy doing just like normal life stuff. Callan got his first interception, which I sent you the video. That's like all me screaming.
Oh yes. So
That was
fun.
really exciting. My in-laws were here, so we went to Grand Rapids. We went to dinner. We went to Art Prize, like looking at like art decor stuff around Grand Rapids. Yeah, it was a very like relaxing local tourist kind of week. And then we watched the Jets on Sunday night. My husband's family, massive New York sports fans, and Jets were all about the Jets here. And I was really disappointed in the outcome of that game, especially given that they were so close and the Jets usually suck. And this was, I think, expected to be a blowaway since our quarterback is out. And it actually turned out to be a really good game. And I blame Taylor for the Jets' loss.
Oh yeah, we actually watched that one as well, or I think most of it. I think I might have gone to bed before it was completely over, but yeah, it was definitely a closer game than what was expected, at least from what my boys were saying during the game.
Yes. Well, it was tied. It was 20-20 for a while.
Yeah.
And that was very exciting for everyone here. Billy's dad normally goes to bed at like 9 p.m. and he stayed up for the entire game with us.
Oh, nice.
So we were watching. I was actually reading. I have finished 2 books this year, if you can believe that, paper books.
That is wild. You've never
So
been a
wild.
reader?
I've never been a reader, but I've really gotten into Audible books, and something about the beach makes me want to read. So I got a couple books before we went on vacation this summer, and they were big. They're just like nonfiction.
Okay.
But I started reading them, and I've never tried anything really like that except for Where the Crawdads Sing.
Mm-hmm.
That was so good. And I just thought this is kind of like reality TV. It was like a movie or something. I just got really into it, and I enjoyed sitting and reading at night instead of looking at screens.
Yes, and I definitely think that helps us sleep better.
I think so.
But I'm terrible because I download my books on Kindle from the library, so I'm still looking at a screen when I'm reading a book.
Oh, true, true. I actually got my books from the physical library.
That I definitely need to do that.
The kids wanted to do this summer reading thing, and we went, and we have a library pretty close to us. And I was like, oh, those look like good beach reads. And I got 2. The first one was Mid. The second one was Hotel Nantucket. Excellent read.
Okay.
Just like girly nonsense. I liked it a lot.
I might have to put that one on my list.
More. Yeah, I want to read more by, I think her name is Ellen Hildebrand, which I think she's like popular, but I really don't know a lot about authors.
Right. I know. I don't know a whole lot of them either.
But I'm going to try to read more, especially when it gets cold and I'm in the house.
For sure, because yeah, there's nothing else to do. So
No. And I just can't believe it's going to be so cold this week, or starting like tomorrow. I think it's going to be rainy, and then it just drops into the 50s for a high, and we're hitting 30s for the low at some point. Is it that cold? Going to be that cold there yet?
We definitely get a cold front coming through, but I think we're going to be about 10 degrees warmer than you. So our evenings are going to be in the 40s, and daytimes are 60s. I do think we have a couple of days though that we're going to get down into the 50s too, which just sucks. I hate going from 80 to 50 because it just makes it feel so much colder than it actually is.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go to North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's going to be a massive shock when I get home and it is frigid.
For sure. Yep.
But it's actually dropping there quite a bit too. So yeah, but I'll have a lot to talk about next week.
I can't wait to hear. It's going to be such a fun trip.
I'm excited, except for I still have a lot to do and I haven't even considered packing yet. Like, haven't even thought about any of it.
Oh my goodness. Well, at least your hair is done and you're not going to have bags under your eyes and your wrinkles are going to be completely Botoxed.
Exactly. And get this.
What?
I have been doing Sober October.
Oh, okay.
But now parentheses, asterisks, whatever, only weekdays.
Hey, whatever works.
I just had too many commitments. Like, I have a Halloween cocktail class, like with my girlfriends here in a couple weeks. I'm going on this trip this weekend. So I'm like, all right, weekdays, Sober October. And my neighbor's doing it with me. So we're doing a little text going, like, how's it going? Are you okay? I think over the summer, I just got into like this habit of, woohoo, like, let's have a margarita every day on the beach, whatever.
Absolutely.
And so I really needed to crack down on that. So yeah, I actually feel good. And I feel a little more like less. I feel less kind of groggy.
That's awesome.
I mean, alcohol is really bad for us. Why do we drink
Yeah, I mean, it's literal poison, so.
it? It is. So I am reevaluating how much I actually even want to be drinking this. Why do I drink this? Because I like to, because I love to cook and pretend I'm in an Italian restaurant with a glass of red. So last night I had a wine glass because I really enjoy the wine glass with half apple cider and half apple cider spindrift.
Ooh.
That is a tasty beverage.
Oh, maybe I'll have to try that. I kind of consider wine in the evenings like my coffee in the mornings. And it's just like my relaxation, sitting on the couch, having a glass of wine, watching some TV or whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely could use to cut out as well.
Well, when you think about how many calories you're consuming in 2 to 3 glasses of wine or cocktails or whatever, then I'm like, I am working really hard. I started a new workout program and I'm like, I really need to zone in and they say summer bodies are made in the winter.
That's
Let's
right.
do it.
That's right.
All
Well,
right.
best of luck to you. I'll let you know if I decide to join in.
You should join in. So far, I'm an island. And I was strong too. Billy's parents were here. They were all three drinking the wine. And I was like, I'm good. I'm not good, but I'm good. I'm also going to bed at 9 o'clock.
Right.
But that's good too. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll just have a glass of wine. And I'm like, no, I really should go to bed. Go to bed, woman.
Instead of staying up till 1 a.m. watching TV and drinking wine.
Yeah, exactly. I've been in bed by 11 o'clock so far every night this week, which is 2 nights.
Still, that's unheard of for you.
It is. I'm really proud of myself. I'm just like new month, new me. I don't know what's happening.
Well, track your progress and maybe I'll join you in November.
Okay, yeah, I took a before picture in the gym 2 days ago. So I'm like hoping that some changes will occur because everything's just a smidge tight, and I know I'm not like overweight or whatever. I could use to lose some fluff pounds
Absolutely.
and just be overall healthier. So
Yeah, for sure.
working on that.
Well,
This week we put up a story. Wait a second. Are we ready to dive into some questions that we got, or is there anything else we need to talk about?
well, we were supposed to be talking about our hot topic of the day.
Which could still be the Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift situation.
It definitely could.
Really, because it's just ongoing. And I am going to double down on my initial thoughts on this and say this is all a massive PR move. Doubling down. I mean, I recorded it on the podcast. It's been known. When this all comes out, everyone's going to say, oh my gosh, you were so right.
I don't know. I don't have any additional thoughts on it.
Also, if I am a man in a football uniform, I am not kissing a girl with those red lips. It's going to get everywhere. I don't care how infallible it is. I just can't envision doing it.
That's very true.
I mean, red lipstick is everywhere.
Yeah, but also, I mean, do you really care at the end of a football game if you have red lipstick all over you because you're disgusting anyway?
That's true. Maybe she cares because she doesn't want to make out with a gross, sweaty person.
I mean, there is nothing in the world worse than the smell of a boy after he's walked off a football field.
This is true and a new revelation for me since Callan started playing football.
Yeah, it's the most pungent in the world.
It's really sad because I think that's a sport they sweat kind of like no other. Like you have so many layers on, and no matter how cold it is, it's a sweaty mess.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to that PR move.
All
And
right.
they're getting it, and I think maybe it'll fizzle after her movie comes out on the 13th.
Oh, you think that fast, huh?
Yep, because she has to do all the stuff for it. Like, she's probably gonna promote it on whatever, like late night show. Those, what are they called? The late night talk shows. She's probably gonna be doing promotion stuff for the movie, don't you think?
I would say, yeah.
She's gonna be busy, and then it's gonna fizzle. But everyone is gonna see her movie, including NFL fans now.
Yes, that's true.
Did you see that his jersey sales were up like 400%?
Yes. Well, I mean, let's get real. I
That's
don't follow
scary.
football, so, maybe guys knew who he was, but I had never even heard of this guy's name until all this came out.
Well, he's like a really good football player, and he was in the Super Bowl last year,
Okay.
and so was his brother.
That's right. You mentioned that last week. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess if you really follow football, you would know who he is, but
Yes, but she is by far way larger than life, and he is not larger than life. He's just large in NFL.
yes. Okay.
Yeah. But a hot topic that is happening today, probably around the same time this is going on the internet, is the national emergency alert siren that's coming in at, what is it, 2:20 p.m.
2:20 p.m. Eastern time. Yes. Yeah, very strange. 41 years old, and I don't know that I've ever had one of these take place that I know of or can remember.
So
Um,
I read that it happened 3 years ago, but I don't remember it happening. I'm like, I know I had phones and stuff. I just don't remember it happening. And I was the same, like, oh, this is weird.
huh.
Where did this come from? But
Yeah.
yeah, somewhere I saw that it happened 3 years ago. I
Okay.
mean, it makes sense. But one thing I saw said it was gonna be for 30 minutes long, and one thing I saw said 1 minute long. So I'm not exactly sure what's gonna happen. But everyone is freaking out. And I'm like, I don't think this is cause for a freak out.
Yeah, I don't really know what all the drama is about it. I mean, you can, I'm sure, go down some rabbit holes if you really want to, but yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think just because it's new for people, but it doesn't make sense if it happened 3 years ago that people would be freaking out.
I know.
But
Let
I
me
don't
Google.
know. I'm gonna
Emergency
have to
alert
read up
test
on that.
in 2020. It didn't happen in 2020. We were all home with nothing. Let's see. Oh wait. Oh wait, no. That's um. Did this happen before? I don't know. Oh, federal. Oh, this is a .gov page. This I don't know. I should search this up later. No, but like I'm in Facebook groups for like the city we used to live in North Carolina and here in Grand Rapids. I can't bear to leave the one in North Carolina because it is like a soap opera.
Oh,
The things said in that group just crack me up. So I'm still in that group, but there's like multiple posts about people just like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I'm like, maybe just do whatever you were gonna do, but maybe with a pair of headphones on if you're worried about sound. Or I was like, this is strange. It's a little unnerving. Like everyone's getting this. Like, why do we need to test this? What is this even used for? It just kind of makes you think like what kind of emergency could happen that there would be a need to alert everyone. And I
right.
think that is what I'm like, oh, that's just a little bit scary. But I don't think the test in of itself is scary.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the same thing here. I'm on a Facebook page here in Ohio, and yeah, people are talking about wrapping their cell phones in tinfoil so the alert doesn't come through.
I'm confused. It's a ringtone, the same one that comes through from what I read with like an Amber Alert or like a tornado warning or something like that. And it's coming on our TVs and radios as well.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I thought it was just cell phones.
Well, that's what I read. Like, I feel like there's a lot of information that's a little bit conflicting. Oh yeah, test messages will be sent to all TVs, radios, and cell phones.
Okay.
This is from the Federal Emergency FEMA. This is from FEMA that says this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we all make it to 2:21 p.m.
Oh, in case this test is postponed due to other significant events or widespread severe weather, it will happen on October the 11th.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh, this says 30 minutes
30 minutes?
on FEMA.gov.
Is our phone going to like ring for 30 minutes?
I don't know, but maybe I'll just get myself a power walk. If it is, I'll just leave.
Right. I'm definitely going to be getting out the tinfoil if that's the case.
Tinfoil doesn't stop sound.
No, it doesn't stop the sound. It's supposed to like keep the transmission from reaching the phone so it never actually goes off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you really didn't want it, you could just turn off your phone, right?
So I also read that people were saying once you turn your phone on, it will still alert.
Oh,
Yeah.
our children, what are they going to do for 30 minutes in school?
I don't know. And my poor kids just had some other kind of drill or something yesterday. I got the email from the school like we did this such and such drill today, and everything went well, and then we're also having this alert tomorrow. I'm like, these poor kids are going to be traumatized.
Well, Callan was like, should I take my phone to school? And I'm like, why? You've never taken your phone before. Why now? Oh, you don't have to hear it. I'm like, oh, so the teacher will hear. He's literally the only kid in his class that doesn't have a cell phone. Like, he has the phone that he can just use on Wi-Fi, but he doesn't have cell service. And I am pretty convinced that we're not going to do that till 8th grade. And he's not very pleased about it. But I'm like, no, you're not taking it to school. You don't need to.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, we did the same thing with our kids. They were 13 when they got their phones, except for Avery, because she did get one earlier because she was home a lot during COVID, by herself with just her and Owen. So they were a little bit earlier, her getting
Yeah.
hers, but Owen's definitely not getting one till 13. But yeah, you know what you should do since you have that one there? Wrap that phone in tinfoil. I'm so intrigued with the tinfoil thing.
I did see a lot of tinfoil, but I didn't know. Wait, say tinfoil.
Tinfoil.
How did you turn out to say foil and I say tinfoil?
I don't know. I've lived in the North longer than you. That's probably why. I have like a country accent, all the other words except for foil and boil.
Oh, I say full and bull.
Oh, that's funny.
My South showing.
Well, yeah, so let's talk about these questions that we got on
I know.
social
Enough of
media.
the tinfoil. We did put up a question box on our Instagram, which has a horrible handle that I think we should change. It's too long and too confusing to say out loud, but that's _Lane on the socials. Also, there are no posts on there. We were just talking about the fact that it needs post. Any hoodle, if you would like to follow along, we put a question box up. And we're also saying we're probably not going to get like too deep in all these questions every week, but this is a topic that I really wanted to talk about, and it is adult friendships. And we put the question box up to see if y'all had any questions, and we actually got several really good questions, several repeat questions that were specifically about finding the time. Isn't that kind of what we all are looking for, is time to do all the things?
Right.
So I thought we could just ask some of the questions that we were asked, and we could talk about our experience in our grand old 30, I'm almost 39 years of life. And how old are you? 40 what?
41.
41. Dang. But I think that there has been a lot of adult friendships made, lost, changed, all that in both of our lives that we could discuss. And I will say, there's 4 of us girls in our family and 1 brother. And my sisters are my best friends. Like, I think that all seasons have changed and drawn us closer to one or the other, I think. But my sisters are my people for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Whoa, we got a crackle. Are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Sorry. Proceed.
I was just saying, even with such an age gap between all of us too, it's just funny. But yeah, my sisters are definitely my first call, my first text, first ones to get news, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Josh, we do have a siblings chat that we include him in on every now and then.
Yes. Josh gets included in the siblings chat, and that's mostly when we share inappropriate things we can't share in front of our parents. And he does not want to be a part of the sisters chat because how old is Shelby?
25.
25. The questions that child puts into our sisters chat are not approved for any other chat in America or the world. Let's say the world. Ever since she got married, let's just say that, the questions abound.
Yes.
I can't wait to have Shelby on the pod. I can't wait to have Whitney. I mean, everyone needs to come on the podcast. But Shelby is probably going to be the one that we have to censor the most.
Yeah, we'll have to bleep her out here and there.
Okay, so let's start with the question that we got the most asked, and that was, how do you find time for friends, and how do you prioritize time spending with them? Would you like to answer this question first, or would you like me to?
Sure, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I think it depends on the friend. And I'm sure we're all like this, but I feel like I have like groups of friends, you know? Like
Yeah.
I have like mom friends and I have people that I work with that I know I don't mind hanging out with, but they're probably not like the people that I would call the first person to call or anything. Couple friends and yeah, so I think it just depends on the friend group as far as finding time. Like I have a mom group that we like make a point to get together once a month. And that's about the only time that we can fit. It just so works out for us that, most of us either have Fridays off or we work from home, have a flexible schedule. So, yeah, usually the third or fourth Friday of the month we'll get together and we don't even have to do anything fancy. Like they'll all come here and we'll just sit by the pool or we'll just go to lunch really quick. Or, I think this month we're going to go to the pumpkin show. Um,
Oh, fun. I love that.
yeah, together. So, yeah, and also that group is probably the group that I talk to the most. As far as like we have a group chat, and we also just started, which was super fun, a Marco Polo chat. Um,
Oh, that's where you like can send videos or whatever, and people can get to it when they get to it, right?
yeah, yeah, and it's so nice to see faces, even though I am not a video person. I hate hearing myself talk.
Oh, you've chosen quite a good hobby in this podcast then.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it's definitely taking some time to get used to seeing myself videoed and hearing it back and stuff like that. But it's so fun to see everyone's faces, and it's just so chill too. Like literally half of us will just have the camera sitting there like while we're driving down the road or whatever, not even looking at it, just driving down the road, just voice recording.
Yeah.
So that has been like super fun and kind of a different way to make that happen. I would say like couple friends get-togethers are even more rare than that. It is so hard to find the time, and I think a lot of times you just have to schedule it and make it happen.
Right. It has to be more of a decision than an afterthought. And it is hard with your family because you want to prioritize the family and your kids and your husband, your marriage over the friendships, of course. But I do feel like spending time with your friends and people that truly fill you up makes you a better wife and mom and housekeeper, all those things, like you're more equipped to do the other things that are truly your top priority when you have filled your own cup and done some stuff for yourself. So I always have, like I said, I'm leaving on a trip this week and it is a friend trip, and I get a lot of mom guilt before I go. I get a lot of mom guilt when I'm there and I know they're melting down at home, but it's really important. And I go on a trip with these girls every year. We've been I think this will be our 18, 19, 20, 22, fifth year in a row of a trip together.
That's so fun.
It is fun, and the dynamics have changed incredibly even in the 5 years, but this is kind of my core group of friends from North Carolina. Since we lived there for 8 years, I got very close to a crew of friends, and they're just good people, and they're good friends to me. And I think that at different seasons, I've been closer to one or the other in that circle, but we're also close. So that's that trip. And I think that yearly thing, I might not see them more than once a year. There's one girl that I have not seen in since last October. So it's not always about having to see them necessarily, I think. especially as someone who's moved a lot, like maintaining those friendships, even with distance, is important. So, like,
Yeah.
we'll have Zoom coffee, we'll have just random, we have a chat that occurs almost daily, a lot of chatting. Um, but actually, outside of my sisters, my very closest friend, um, I have only met her in real life a handful of times.
And that's so funny.
Yeah,
Thank you, social media.
yes, we are friends from the internet. I met her through a friend who's I'm still friends with. And something about her, we just totally clicked. And I talk to that girl every day. She knows more about me than most people. She's very sister like. Like, I tell you guys crazy things, and I tell her the same kind of crazy things, whatever is happening in life. And we haven't seen each other in probably 2 years. Um,
Wow.
but you just have those people that are your people.
For sure. Yep.
Um, but I do really love. I am a social butterfly. I love going and doing things and hanging out and having fun. And it does require advanced planning to do those things with local people, and obviously with people far away. But like this trip that I'm going on tomorrow was planned like maybe 2 weeks ago. It was just like, who wants to do this? Okay, let's go. Like, and we just all happened to be able to, and we made it work.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be such a big stressful, like, let's do this a year in advance. And I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
uh,
and I think it depends on your kids' ages too. It's definitely a lot easier
oh
for
yeah,
me to get out and do things now that the kids are older and they don't rely on me quite as much as it
for
was when
sure.
they were younger. Um, but if you have another mom that's got kids your age, just throw them all in a room together and then
Right.
still get together even over the chaos. Yeah, it's definitely important, and especially if you're an extroverted person. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm a introverted extrovert, so I can handle so much, and my job too. I'm around a lot of people, showing houses and stuff like that. So it just depends on if I'm, still have a need to be around people. How much time I have with my friends. So
But that makes it difficult for you, and I'm sure for a lot of people in your personality too, because you empty your cup on socializing with people who aren't filling you. You are having to do that for work. And like Billy's the same way. He gets drained sometimes at work having to talk to so many people when he goes into the office and stuff. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm done.
yeah,
But you haven't reaped the benefits of that, like being with actual people that fill you.
right.
So I
Yeah,
think it's
that's
harder for you and your personality to be able to prioritize that time. I think that's where, like, scheduling in advance and not backing out is really important.
yes, yeah. Yeah, and like my husband is definitely more of that kind of personality. Like I can handle, most days of the week seeing people, and then on the weekends, like I could probably go out Friday night and Saturday night, and um
Wild woman.
not be too much there. Where my husband is like, I do not schedule anything 2 weekends in a row. Like, and don't schedule anything 2 nights in a row. We have to have consistent at home time. But
He is
he's also a
extra.
lot more
Extra.
extroverted at work than I am. So
He disappears when our whole family's together.
yes.
He says, I'm socialed out, and he literally leaves. But our family is enough to drain any human.
Well, there's just a lot of us, and we're very loud. And it's so funny because I'm the oldest of our family, obviously, and there's five of us, but he's the baby of his family, and there was four of them, and they were all boys. But he, anytime we're all together, he's like, "Your family is so loud." How do you grow up in a household of boys and think our family is loud? Because our family is ridiculously loud.
Why is it? I don't know.
I don't know. And it's like, I don't feel like my immediate family, my family now is loud. Our house is fairly quiet most of the time. So I can only say, I'm just going to blame it on you and Shelby.
I'm not really loud in regular daily life, but there is something that comes undone in me when I'm around our family. Like it's like this childlike unhingedness that comes out. I don't know. It's like a wild woman at Woodstock. I don't know.
Well, you're just bottling it all up for so long. The true
Probably.
Molly.
I am such a good bottler. Such a bottler. It's like a gift. I don't need to talk about my feelings ever, and I don't even. It's good. No, it's actually horrible. It's really bad. I'm trying to be better about letting things out, but when I'm with my family, it really like I know I've said fill my cup like 14 times. Whatever like an synonym for fill my cup would be, that's what happens when I'm with my family. Like it does good for the soul.
That's funny. Well, I mean, yes, I do feel that way too, but oh.
But Shelby makes me feel like I am not loud.
Correct. Yes, Shelby
Shelby
is
is,
definitely the loudest.
but she's so fun.
She's very fun. Yes, she's very fun.
She's really fun, and the man she married is right up there on the fun level.
Yeah, they are both a lot of personality together.
We we should do an interview with Shelby and Michael about their relationship
Yes, newlyweds.
and how Shelby decided that she just wanted to keep her own apartment. I think didn't both of our sisters do that? They both Shelby and Whitney both were like, can we just hang on to our own house and our married house? Leave whenever we want.
Well, it makes more sense with Whitney because she got married a little bit older. She had lived on her own for quite some time. She had her own routine, her own, all of her own things. I mean, she had a full house completely furnished and filled with all of her stuff. And then she
Right.
moved a man in with her. And, well, actually, she didn't move him in there. They moved to New York after they got
Yep.
married. So,
That
yeah,
was a
it
dream.
was like literally combining two entire lives instead of just two people.
True. True. True.
So,
Shelby's
um,
just interesting.
yeah.
um, but another question we had was couple social life. How do you balance extroverted and introverted, which we just kind of touched on? And I think that really comes down to like respecting each other's needs because they both need to be met. And there's going to be a lot of resentment if one person gives in all the time.
Yes.
So this has been kind of a big thing for in our marriage too because I like I said like to go out, like to socialize, and I have realized that I need to go out and do like girly things like with my girlfriend more often
Yeah.
than to go out and do couple things. And that's okay. I always felt like, oh my gosh, like I shouldn't be going out with my girlfriends. I should be with the family. I should be home. And no, it's okay to go and do things and to let your husband do bedtime because he wants to be home and he wants to relax on the couch. And it's okay to do different things and still have a happy, healthy marriage. It actually probably is better for your marriage to split up and do things sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say I do think it's better in some ways because sometimes I even think like because Jared's very much like that. Like I said, like he we don't do things 2 weekends in a row. I mean, I'm not gonna say it never happens, but I definitely ask him, like, okay, we have this scheduled this weekend. Are you okay doing this the following weekend? Or, we have this scheduled on Friday night. Are you okay adding a Saturday night?
Right.
Something like that. So I always try and ask, but also I feel like I kind of stress him out a little bit.
No, not you. Not you and your high strungness all the time.
Right. So I think it's almost relaxing to him sometimes when I'm not here. Not in a bad way, but like he'll give himself the freedom to, you know, go to the gym for an extra hour or something like that. Then if I'm home, I think it's the same thing. Like he feels some guilt, like, okay, I'm home, the kids are home, and he feels like he wants to be home with us, but he also feels like he needs to be home with us. And
Right.
so prioritizing all of that. So sometimes I think if I'm gone, and our kids are to those ages where they're kind of doing their own things. And then he's like, okay, well, I can, have some time to myself.
Right.
going to the gym or whatever. So I think that's helpful that you guys are able to do your own thing too and not feel
Yeah.
guilty about it.
I think it's very important.
Yes.
On to we have like 3 more questions. Let's hit them. And the FYI disclaimer, we're just telling you things that have worked for us. And this has come through a lot of like texting each other and crying to each other and lots of conversations. We've both been married a decent chunk of time. But we're just hoping that anything we share might be helpful, especially like if you're married and whatever. Just hoping that we can share any advice. So the
Yeah.
next question, how do you handle adult drama like changing dynamics with the friends not being part of the group anymore? I guess that's kind of 2 questions. How do you handle adult drama? And then how do you deal with the changing dynamics like friends not being part of the group?
We leave that drama to your mama.
Dana. Our mom is Dana. Well, I have had a couple dramatic friendships. And when I look back on the dramatic friendships in my life, I entered into those friendships when I wasn't in a good place in my life. And it's easier now to look back at it and be like, I should have never been friends with that person to begin with. This is my bad. But I wish I had the clear vision to just walk away from it. Like, I think that I am at the place in my life now where I have had a lot of friends in all these different places we've lived, and I'm still friendly with like a lot of the people, and some people I don't really talk to outside of Facebook, whatever. But I feel like if there is dramatic friendships that are not suiting me, that I feel like I'm hurt, I'm bothered, like it's not sitting well, walk away. I'm such a people pleaser, and that was a very hard lesson for me to learn in a couple rough friendships, that it's okay to just walk away from a friendship that's not serving you. It's not mean, it's not selfish. It is putting yourself first over someone else's feelings.
Yeah. And you can do that and still talk to the person or, be kind, obviously. But
For
yeah, I
sure.
do not do drama at all. I don't, no.
Yeah. It's it's just, and I think there can be drama in friendships that doesn't require like a full walk away. Like there can just be like this changing dynamics and parts, friends not part of the group. If your group changes and someone's on the outs or whatever, like you don't have to change with the whole group. It still goes back to you do what you feel like is best for you. Like I guess it sounds kind of selfish, but I think just from living through a couple friendships, I look back and I think like I didn't need to keep being friends with that person because that person was, nor do I need to quit being friends with someone because someone else isn't. Like you make the choices on your own, and all of your friendship dynamics are going to change. People are going to get married, have babies. I'm now in a season of life where some of my friends are getting divorced, and the dynamics are always going to change. And that might bring people closer together or farther apart. And it's just normal. But I think that you shouldn't go like pushing through something that you just have this feeling that you shouldn't,
Yeah.
don't cut someone off just because someone else is, and don't stay somewhere in a friendship because someone else is. Do what's best for you, which is ultimately what's best for like your life and your family and how it affects so many other people, like your marriage and your kids. When you find yourself like venting about a friendship to your husband over and over and over, like take a step back.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is not working.
Yep. Yeah. And I think there's also just a confidence in knowing like you're not going to just click with everyone. And it's completely okay that everyone doesn't like you as well. Like just be confident in yourself that not everyone's going to like you and you're not going to like everyone. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have our different personalities for a reason. So yeah, I think that's I don't know, kind of coming into yourself, I guess, being confident in who you are. And,
Yeah.
you can, like I said, have conversations, be kind, but you don't have to be best friends with everyone. Most of the
No.
time, our close friend circle is going to be very small.
And it should be very small because going back to the finding time, you don't have time to give to tons of people. Your close group is going to be a smaller group that you actually do have the time for. And then you're going to have your friendships of like convenience and, you know, just acquaintances and all that stuff. But prioritize and spend the time on those people who are your core that are good for you. And don't worry about people not liking you, because not everyone likes peaches. And we are two Georgia peaches, and not everyone likes peaches. And that is really hard to fathom, but it's the truth.
It is definitely the truth.
That's been hard for me on social media too, like having negative comments or whatever on my Instagram or my blog. And at first that really hurt me. I was so hurt. Like, how could someone not like me? What did I ever do to them? Oh my gosh, the drama. But I think it probably was into my 30s, a bit, mid 30s, that I finally came to the just understanding, like, it's okay. It's totally fine. I don't need to be everything to everyone, and I don't need to be everyone's cup of tea.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah. And so many times, like, I feel like high school kind of trickles over into adulthood.
100%.
Having a 14-year-old daughter, you know, I'm trying so hard to kind of put those same things into her. And she's only going to see that if it's something that I'm modeling for her.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, I tell her the same thing. Like, I don't get in the middle of the drama. It's not worth it. It only causes heartache in the end. Just stay out of it. So,
if your friendships look like the Real Housewives, run.
yes.
Tip of the day, run. How do you let your guard down to be close to people? I can tell you my answer to this, and that is my guard is always down, and I want to be friends with everyone. I am trusting and I am loving, and I'm just like word vomit, and I'm exactly the opposite of my New York husband, who trusts exactly 0 people in the world, and it takes him a little longer to open up to anyone. So I guess I don't really have much good advice, but I think that I saw something the other day about just like a good deed. This story kind of sucks because never mind, doesn't make sense. I think there's more good people in the world than we are led to believe. You know, I think that there's such this crappy impression of the world, but really, I think there is more good. And I think a lot of people are good. And I'm not saying go and divulge your secrets, because that's just stupid. But I think that generally speaking, you need to open your heart a little bit to the possibility of making friends. And every time we've moved, which has been a lot, I really have to put myself out there. And while I'm social, I'm a little awkward in the beginning when it first gets started. So I really do have to put myself out there. I have to be the one like scheduling some things and making a plan, and like the new person isn't just going to get invited to all the existing stuff. You have to put yourself out there a little bit, and you attract what you put out. So be yourself, and you'll attract people who have things in common with you and want to be friends with you.
Yeah. And I think too, like, the people that don't like you for who they are, they're not your real friends to start with. So
True.
just being true to yourself and being true in front of others is key to that as well. And if they don't like who you truly are, then it's probably time to find another friend.
Yes. And there's a lot of friends. There's a lot of people out there. And
and just putting yourself into a place where you can meet people is key, like church or sports events with your kids or sports events with adults or anything like that. Just the more people that you meet, the more you're going to find those close friends, I think.
yes. And it's the same thing as dating. Like, if you meet a guy in the club, then you might be meeting a playa. I don't know. But if you meet a guy at church, then you might be attracting someone that might be like husband material. It's the same kind of thing with, that's very stereotypical. I mean, whoops. But I think that it's the same thing. You might meet friends like that have kids your kids' ages, and that's like an easy way on the sports field, like you said, or volunteering in your kids' classes, or whatever. I was in a Bible study group in North Carolina, and I met some amazing ladies who I am still friends with, and I'm going to see some this weekend. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, put yourself in environments where the type of people are there that you want to be friends with.
Yes, yeah. And even in those type of environments, you might find, not an awkward relationship, but an out of ordinary relationship. We have some really good friends that we met in a home group through the church that we were at. And when we first kind of became really good friends with them, they're a lot younger than us. They didn't have any kids. And they didn't have kids for, I think, maybe 5 or 6 years into our friendship. And now they have two little girls. And
Aw.
one of them's in kindergarten. And of course, my kids are a lot older. But it's just funny. Like, we've been friends now for probably 10, 11 years. And
Oh,
they're some of our best friends. And yeah, they have just a totally different dynamic than what we have. But it works.
so
So
be
sometimes
open
you
to
just
the
have to,
surprise.
yeah, absolutely.
I think this was a productive adult friendship chat.
For sure.
For sure. What's the key takeaway? Leave the drama to your mama.
Yes.
Yeah. And be yourself.
Be yourself.
And be friends with us because we're fun.
We are definitely fun.
Um, and we're gonna get some sister action on that sounded bad. We're gonna get our sister on the podcast soon, and it's gonna be fun.
Very exciting. And look for some pictures this week because we're going to post.
We are.
Yes. And
We say we are. Carol, we need to be a little. No, you're on it a little more than me. I'm gonna get on it. Don't worry. Don't worry. You need to stop jiggling and wiggling. Are you moving?
me?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm not moving.
Oh, I keep hearing like thud thud.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, well, maybe we'll get this podcast posted before 2:20, so it can also serve as a reminder for people to not pee their pants at 2:20 when the alarms go off.
Yes, that is a great, great idea. It
I
should
will
be
be
posted shortly.
It's what?
I said I'll post it shortly.
Okay. I'm going to be startled no matter what. It's just a thing. I am the most startled person of life. So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to expect. I don't understand if it's a siren, if it's a beeping. And so yeah, I don't know what to expect.
I
I'm
guess we're
going to
going
get my
to.
tinfoil. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. You do that. You do that. I'm going on a power walk. And I guess we can discuss that next week when we're
Sounds
back
good.
here for Hump Day.
Yeah, well, we hope that we were able to help you get over the hump.
Thank you for joining us for That's So Lame podcast. We'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.